All right, here we go. Pre-game thoughts. Padres and the Braves. Padres looking to get to 2-0 on the season. Dylan Cease is on the mound in his first start of the regular season. Much like Michael King, he had a good ending to his Cactus League, but that doesn't matter as we got another night tonight, and so we'll see what he brings. Obviously, with Darvish being out, no Waldron, no Musgrove, question marks with what we're going to get from the rest of the rotation. It's big that that Dylan Cease can be one of the aces in this rotation and pitch like an ace. I think he did a pretty darn good job in his first year with the Padres. Obviously, there's that taste of 2024 where he didn't pitch as well as he wanted to in the postseason, and it's a walk year. And there's a lot of times that free agent pitchers pitch really well in their walk year. So hopefully that will serve to the Padres' advantage. As for the bullpen, there are some guys that threw a good amount of pitches last night. I have my bullpen chart up on Talking Friars on Twitter. And so Robert Suarez, he threw 24 pitches. Estrada threw 25. Matsui threw 23. Alec Jacob threw 31. So I wouldn't expect him. I wouldn't expect to see him tonight. But you could see Adam again. You'll see Morahone. He didn't pitch yesterday. Maybe you'll see Omar Cruz. Wandy Peralta threw one pitch. It's early in the season, and so the Padres aren't going to be pushing guys. So for like Suarez, for example, he probably could go tonight, but this could be a situation where, and maybe the Padres would laugh at me when I say this because they're like, Ben, it's game 2, relax. But this could be a situation, I wouldn't be surprised if they want to avoid Suarez at all costs. And just because last year he was used a lot. And I feel like he was used as a closer more than most relievers in baseball. Maybe that caught up to him a little bit. There were the struggles there near the end of the season. So do the Padres want to maybe alter that? But they also don't want to rely on being the best team in the second half of the season like they were last year, at least in the National League. So you want to win these games. You have an opportunity to win tonight and lock down a save. Mike Schilt probably is going to be like, no, I want Robert Suarez still to go pitch that ninth inning. If he does, it's not the end of the world. Don't get me wrong. Um, but 24 pitches, first game of the year, and he wasn't throwing. He was probably throwing on backfields, but he wasn't throwing a ton in the Cactus League games. So I'm interested to see, is he going to be ready to go? Maybe not 3 days in a row, but back to back after some stressful pitches yesterday. What is that going to look like for Suarez? Um, so yeah, Morahone, I would be surprised if he doesn't pitch today. You look at the Braves lineup. Profar, as you can see here on the screen, he is leading off. Yeah, you can see the whole lineup. Okay. Profar, I'm just trying to see. Now he's a switch hitter, but how many lefties? If you want to go with a lefty lane, let's say it's Albies Harris Baldwin, or it's Baldwin Allen Kelnick, you could see Morahone go with that lane late in this game. But Profar is leading off. Austin Riley at third, Matt Olson at first, Marcelo Zuna DHing, Ozzy Albies, who homered yesterday, he's at second. Michael Harris is in center. Baldwin is catching. Nick Allen, who um, he didn't play yesterday, I don't think. He's at short. Kelnick is in right field, batting ninth. And then for the Padres, Tatis is in right. He is still leading off. I'll get to the Tatis leading off and Arise hitting second part here in a second, but just want to go through the entire lineup. Tatis, Arise, Manny, Merrill, Crony, Bogarts, Sheets gets the start today, DHing with a righty on the mound. Hayward's in left. He gets the start. He was coming off the bench yesterday. And then Maldonado gets the start after Diaz started yesterday. So already you're seeing some changes there with this lineup with a righty on the mound, although Diaz is a righty at the plate as well. So they're going with Maldonado. Is Cease more comfortable pitching to Maldonado? Is that what it comes down to? Or the Padres weren't big fans of Diaz's defensive performance last night behind the plate, so they're like, hey, we got offense. Let's go with Maldonado behind the plate here today. And it's 7 straight games to kick off the season here with Cleveland coming up next. So maybe they just, early in the year don't want to tax Diaz too much and, play him like 4 or 5 straight days. So yeah, we know Schilt loves Maldonado from the quotes that he had in spring training. So Getting back to the Tatis leading off thing, I personally am a fan of it. I thought that when it's a righty on the mound, they would go with Arraez and just throw as many lefties as possible up there. But when you look at the numbers, first with Luis Arraez, you know he's going to hit anywhere in the lineup because he is a hitter. Hits for average. That's what I mean by he's a hitter. I don't think it matters where you put him. He's trying to get a base hit. He's trying to get on base. He's trying not to strike out. And so you put him behind Tatis, and that could be a recipe for success. Let's look at Tatis's splits. When in his career, batting first in the lineup, 162 games, 668 at bats, a 311 average, 376 on base, 600 slug, 977 OPS, 49 homers, 111 RBI, and 38 stolen bases. Now, batting second in his career in the lineup, he has more time, he has more games, he has more plate appearances, so he's going to have more home runs, he's going to have more stolen bases. But when you put it into like percentages, he homers a higher percentage of the time when he's batting first. He steals more bases a higher percentage of the time, I believe, when he's first in the lineup and he's leading off than when batting second. And part of that would be health, one, but also the situation, I would think, like getting to first base and wanting to put yourself in scoring position for the rest of that lineup, especially that top of the lineup, the guys that are coming up right behind you. So here's his numbers: career batting second in the lineup, 255 average, 328 on base, 476 slug, 805 OPS, 59 homers, 47 stolen bases. So again, I'm going to compare these directly now. Batting first in his career, 311 average, excuse me. Batting second, 255 average. That's a big difference. Batting first, 376 on base. Batting second, 328 on base. Batting first, 600 slug. Batting second, 476 slug. Batting first, 977 OPS. Batting second, 805 OPS. So it's pretty clear batting first, it's the better production that you're going to get from Tatis so far in his career. And I think part of that is, yes, when he's healthy, but when he's leading off right out of the gate, sometimes he will strike out. Arraez is not a guy that strikes out. And um, Tatis, I think, will take more pitches. He would see more pitches than Arraez would. And when he's leading off and he gets on base, one, that's not fun for a pitcher, I would imagine. When he's on the mound and you just allow Tatis to reach base and you know that any moment he can steal on you to be in scoring position. Or if he leads off with a double, he could go take third, like we saw a couple of times yesterday. And oh, by the way, you have Luis Arraez at the plate. And then, oh, by the way, for tonight, you have Machado sitting there on deck with a 2,083 OPS at the moment after one game. Oh, and then you have Jackson Merrill. That's pretty scary for Ronaldo Lopez if that situation happens tonight. Tatis in the leadoff spot, is he freed up? I think talking about the running, and we saw the running happen yesterday, he's playing with two healthy legs right now. He's not playing on one leg. So I think out of that leadoff spot, he could totally put himself in scoring position after a leadoff walk or a leadoff single. Or I could totally see the Padres doing an early hit and run with Arraez up because he's a contact guy. You send Tatis, and Arraez can pull a ball to second base, and it gets through, and Tatis all of a sudden's on third base with Manny up at the plate, and you got first and third with nobody out with Manny up. And then Merrill on deck. They could walk Manny to load the bases, set up a double play, sacrifice a run. Well, that's a win for the Padres. You get a run already, and you have Jackson Merrill, who doesn't try to do too much up there at the plate. So is he going to ground into a double play? I think most of the time he wouldn't. He could just, as we saw yesterday, just poke a ball into center field. And by the way, that was left on left against Chris Sale. This is a righty. So I love having Tatis lead off. I mean, you can make the case for Arraez to lead off because he's, more your typical leadoff guy. And then you have Tatis that could hit one in a gap and then Arraez can score. You have Tatis that can hit one over the wall and it's 2-0 instead of 1-0. There's definitely ways you could slice this either way with Arraez leading off or Tatis leading off, but I love having Tatis lead off. I think when you're talking about, like, ask yourself, if you're Mike Schilt, what does Brian Snitker want to see more? Does he want to see Luis Arraez up at the plate the most times or Tatis up at the plate the most times in terms of damage? He probably would rather have Arraez up. So put Tatis in front of Arraez. Have Tatis be up. You want to ask yourself, what does the opponent want? And give them what they don't want. So I'm good with this lineup. Some people probably would be like, hey, put Sheets up higher, put him where Cronenworth's at. But it's also been one game. And I think Crony was kind of put in a position to fail yesterday when it's a left on left and it's Chris Sale. You're thinking that Crony's just going to go dominate in that situation. Not so sure about that. So as of now, I'm fine with it. If he continues to struggle, now it's not a lefty on the mound, but if he just continues to struggle anyway, and you have Gavin Sheets as an option, I wouldn't be surprised if you have Cronenworth and Sheets swap places because Schilt's trying to win. Hayward, Maldonado, obviously down there, fine with that. And then you don't want to stack lefties too much. You don't want to go Merrill, Crony, Sheets and have 3 straight lefties, and then Hayward. You want to even that up so when they go to the bullpen, it's not too bad of lanes there. But yeah, that's the lineup again. Tatis, Arraez, Manny, Merrill, Cronenworth, Bogart, Sheets, Hayward, and Maldonado. First pitch, 6:40. I'll be there tonight, so can't wait for that yellow hat giveaway. Oh yeah, and then Underdog. So for those that don't know, if you sign up, code Talking Friars, click the link in the description on Underdog. You'll get a 50% deposit match up to $1,000 in bonus credits on Underdog. I got that $50 into my account. Underdog helped me with that. And I made a $25 entry today. And if all of these hit, I will get $1,800. You could win a lot of money on Underdog, I'm telling you. And so for me to win, I need Jackson Merrill higher on half RBI. I need Tatis to steal a base. I need Soto to drive in a run against the Astros. I need James Harden to score at least 22 points. And I think he's playing the Nets tonight. The Clippers are playing the Nets. And then I need Jimmy Butler with the Warriors against the Pelicans to combine in points, rebounds, and assists at least 30 combined. If I get all of those, I win almost over $1,800. And that's just putting $25 down. That's just an example. I could have probably went with some safer picks now that I think about it, but I probably would have won less money because they're safer picks. But you go check that out on Underdog. They've got a lot of great sports, obviously, as you can tell, with the combining sports in those multiple picks there. But yeah, those are my pregame thoughts. I think today, after Cease, hopefully he can give you 5+ innings. And then after that, Morahone, I could see them going. I mean, it depends on the lane, but I could see them going Morahone, started through 25. He's good to go. I could see Morahone, Estrada, Matsui, and Adam. I could see Wandy get the 6th inning. Early in the year, give Wandy the opportunity to earn your trust back. And he threw 1 pitch yesterday. But, I wouldn't be surprised if all of these guys except Alec Jacob would be available. Even Suarez and, Estrada through 25, Suarez through 24, Matsui through 23. When would Omar Cruz pitch? Maybe they're saving him for after Vasquez or after Kyle Hart on Monday. I wouldn't think that they would have him throw after Dylan Cease, but if Dylan Cease can't make it through 3 innings like Michael King couldn't make it through 3 innings yesterday, then I wouldn't be surprised to see Omar Cruz get into this game. And when he does, it would be his big league debut. So that would be a cool moment. But yeah, City Connect Friday. This is the last year the Padres are going to be wearing these current City Connects. So if you're a fan of them, enjoy it while it lasts. I like the hat. Not the biggest fan of the jersey, but I do like the hat.